In the last module, I covered a lot about the campaign objective, and we concluded that the most beneficial objective to use is the conversion objective when they ask you, because we've just had the best results with that, and I would say the second best is the engagement one. In this part, we're going to talk about the ad set level. So remember, the Facebook ads are structured in three parts. First, they ask for your objective. Next, they ask for you to put in information at the ad set level. The ad set has your targeting, it has your bids, your audiences, and finally there's the ad level that's after that. So there's three parts to doing it, and there's kind of nuances and tricks and tips you can do in each part of the process. So let's dive into this. This lesson here, I'm going to try to go a bit more in depth because there's a lot you can do with targeting. There's you can target specific devices. We're going to cover some flex targeting in this module. So I'm just going to cover a lot of content because it's almost the type of thing where you can never over deliver enough with this stuff. There's always so much to learn, and there's so many secrets and so many tricks and tips of the trade. I might as well just kind of share all I can on these topics. So let's dive into it. So what is an ad set? The ad set is where you target who you want to send the ad to. Unlike the ad level, it's kind of where you set up your targeting. Your ad is your video or your image, and it's your ad copy, but the ad set is your targeting. Think of it as the settings to the ad. So in the settings, there's different things like the conversion events, audiences, budgets, biddings, placements. We'll go through all these. So remember, in the previous module, you're going to select conversion as the objective of your campaign. So what's going to happen on the next step is when you go to the ad set, it's going to say, what do you want your conversion objective to be? And remember, in one of the previous modules, I showed you all that stuff about setting up those pixels. We put that view content pixel on our first page. There was that purchase pixel that we put on the offer side, and there was that lead pixel that we put after the email submit. On this step, they're going to ask you, what do you want to target? What do you want to optimize for? So let's say you're promoting a good nursing school offer, and you were able to get the network to put your Facebook pixel with the purchase event on the offer. So what that means is whenever a sale happens for $32 on the nursing offer, it's going to tell Facebook that that sale happened, and Facebook will let you know. You'll see a count right there in Facebook, but Facebook ads will start automatically even optimizing to the fact that you're getting these sales. So let's say you want to optimize for those sales. In the ad set level, where it asks you for your conversion objective, you can click there and you can select purchase if you have that purchase pixel in place on the offer. If you want to be optimizing just for leads, you can select leads, and you can select view content if you just want Facebook to optimize towards sending the kind of most targeted people to your site. Remember, I showed in that previous video how we put that view content pixel on the first page of the lander. And what I recommend doing is perhaps testing different ads and ad sets with the different objectives. Maybe one ad has the objective of the purchase event, maybe another ad has the view content, and another one has the lead. And you can kind of feel out what is getting you the strongest ROI and the best results by even split testing in that manner. So audiences, who are they, and what can we do for audiences? So the audiences is who you want to target. And there's really three main types of audiences. So this stuff is kind of self-explanatory. Location, age, gender, language. Self-explanatory. But when it comes to targeting, there's three types of audiences that you could send the ads to. There's custom audiences. Those are like lookalike audiences and custom audiences, maybe from your customer files or your lead files and things like that. So one type of audience is custom audience. And then you get into the targeting, and you can do either or. For example, you could have a custom audience that you're sending to, and then you can leave the targeting blank. And then on the flip side, you could be targeting a specific interest but not use a custom audience. And you could even play around doing both at the same time. So we'll cover this first. Let's cover the targeting first. So there's three types of targeting. There's demographic, interests, and behaviors. So what's going to happen here is you're going to select who you want your Facebook ads to run to. And you have three choices here under targeting. You have demographics, interests, and behaviors. And if you play around with it, you'll see that there's quite a lot of different choices that you can do. So demographics are things that pertain to their demographic. Facebook even used to have, and they might still have it to some degree, they used to have an income demographic. So when Tyler and I were promoting some campaigns for mortgages, we targeted people that were really kind of rich. We went to demographics and we targeted people who made like $100,000 a year or higher, because we found that the quality of leads on our mortgage stuff was very high for these people that were like very wealthy. They were taking the mortgage more seriously. They were converting better on the offer, and they were just taking the process more seriously. Now on the flip side, we ran some bad credit card offers, basically credit cards designed for people with bad credit. And in those ads, we went to the demographics and we specifically targeted people with like the lowest income it would allow you to do. We literally targeted people that made like less than 25 grand a year, and we were able to do well on that. Now, I think that Facebook has been changing, and they might have taken away the income targeting, but you can kind of be clever and still get a similar result, perhaps with a little bit of creative thinking. So for example, if you want to target someone who is really kind of serious about getting a mortgage, or on the wealthier side, perhaps you could target people based on their education. If someone has gotten a doctorate degree or a professional degree, perhaps they are a little more likely to be purchasing a mortgage. Again, it's kind of a little bit of deductive reasoning in a sense, and sometimes guessing, but you can think outside of the box. How would you get, and then let's talk about like how would we get a subprime user? Let's say you're promoting like car loans for bad credit. There's some offers that are like bad credit car loans, and they're designed for people with bad credit. So even if Facebook doesn't have the demographic for income anymore, or let's say that they're taking it away in the future, or it's, sometimes it like they've just, Facebook has been on the fence about the income demographic, because it's like people are like, I don't know if that's right, and it's just, there's a lot of back and forth of whether this is ethical and whatnot for Facebook to be doing, targeting people off of income. So sometimes they've taken it away, sometimes it's been there, But you can use kind of out of the box thinking to get to a similar result. So how would we target someone who, let's say, would be interested in a bad credit car loan? Okay, so perhaps, let's think about this. Perhaps we could target someone who is over the age of 30 years old who has not completed any kind of college education. Again, it sounds almost kind of discriminatory or prejudiced, but it's like we as marketers can think outside of the box and we can figure out creative ways to target a demographic that we want to target. So let's say that we're promoting bad credit car loans, is car loans for people with bad credit. So think who would possibly be in that type of situation. See how there's a tab for work, perhaps unemployed. Maybe there's an interest for unemployed. Maybe you can go to work demographic and go to unemployed. Maybe you can go to education. Maybe anyone over the age of 35 who has never completed any kind of college education or degree. Again, it's generalizing, I know, but I'm sure there's a lot of people over the age of 30 or 40 that have never finished any kind of college degree that might fit that scenario. I guess you could get even more extreme with the example, and what if you targeted anyone over the age of 40 that never finished a high school? It starts getting a little bit, would that type of person perhaps be in a bad credit situation? Again, it's a lot of rationalizing, it's a lot of guessing sometimes, but you can strike some good audiences by thinking outside of the box like this. Demographics allow you to target where people work, so this could become very handy if you're promoting certain types of offers like nursing offers, and I'll show you an example of what we did on just certain nursing offers, because the nursing schools wanted people that were interested in nursing, but they didn't want like people that were already nurses. Do you see what I'm getting at? Like the nursing school offer that we were promoting, they wanted people to go to nursing school. They wanted people to get the nursing degree. However, they didn't really want people that were already a nurse. The reason why is because if the person was already a nurse, chances are they've already done nursing school. So like what good is that lead to the lead buyer if they are already a nurse? So we use this demographic targeting, and Tyler and I excluded people who worked in nursing. So we targeted people that were interested in nursing, but we excluded people that were working as a nurse. And what it left us with was an audience of a lot of people that were interested in nursing but was not actually working as a nurse, and it ended up being a great audience for running the nursing ads too. So these are types of scenarios where we can really think outside of the box. Relationships, they have ones for relationships, they have ones for politics. So let's say you have some kind of like conservative offer or something. I'm sure there's demographics for Republican, kind of conservative type of stuff. On the flip side, if you have something that would tailor towards like a Democratic audience, they have life events. There's demographics are cool because you can sometimes really hone into just what you're looking for in the demographic stuff. So another thing that you can target on Facebook is interests. And the so when Tyler and I ran the nursing ad, we actually used a combination of interests and the behavioral, because we targeted people who were interested in nursing. Do you see on the right hand of this slide towards the bottom there, it just says interests, and then that lower one just says nursing. I'm looking at the right side there. So we targeted people interested in nursing. It was an audience of like 2 million or more people. It might have even been 10 million. It was a lot of people. And um, so we targeted people that were interested in nursing, but then, like I said earlier, we excluded anyone who was working as a nurse because this helped us get more people to the offer that was interested in nursing but not actually doing nursing yet. And that's a perfect type of person for a nursing school um, offer. So under interests, you can type in stuff. You can type in credit cards, car loan, nursing, refinance, mortgage, car insurance. Facebook is really good at kind of making audiences themselves of people that are interested in things. And you can always combine things. So, for example, with the nursing, sometimes we got really nitty gritty. Sometimes we were targeting people interested in nursing, excluding people that were already working in the field by excluding demographics like work as a nurse. We targeted women, so we tagged on the woman, just gender, because we found like 90% of our traffic was women for the nursing. And then we even did a little bit of age group. We targeted like 20 years old to like 38 or something. We didn't go that old because it's like if someone is like 55 years old, I'm not saying it doesn't happen because it does happen sometimes, but if someone is like 50, 60 years old, are they really going to a nursing school? I mean, perhaps, yes, it happens, but it's not the most common. So try to advertise and market to what is most common. Think like what age groups are the most common to go to nursing school, and it's like 20 to 30 years old. Um, Behaviors. Okay, so behaviors are cool because now you can start targeting people based off of like if they're a frequent traveler, if they travel, if they shop a lot. One time, I targeted people that used like Yahoo email addresses. So here's what happened. There was a period of time where I was doing really well on emailing Yahoo people, and it sounds kind of weird. It's like, well, why would you be doing really well at mailing Yahoo people? So what happened was there was like a period of time, like 6 months, where I just noticed that Yahoo people were really engaging really well on my email list. Like I did some study, I did some analysis, and I discovered that I was just making a lot of money off of people off of Yahoo's on the email side, on the back end side. I just noticed like 40% or something. It was just a really high number of the people that were actually opening and clicking were Yahoos. So what I did was I went to the behavior targeting on my ad, and there's actually a drop down for like email address. Okay, I'm telling you, if you type in under behavior email, it will actually allow you to run ads to people that have a Yahoo versus a Gmail. Now, it's not perfect. So what I did was, since I noticed that I was really performing well on Yahoo on my email backend, I started running ads to Yahoo users only. And it wasn't perfect. Some Gmails still slipped through. Like some people still subscribed to my list with Gmail because it wasn't perfect. But what happened was I started building a list of significantly more Yahoo leads. It was like 60% or 65% of my email list started becoming these Yahoo users. And because I was performing so well on Yahoo's, I increased my ROI on my back end, on my email side. So this is just another thing that is kind of thinking outside the box with this targeting. So I hope that just all of this commentary, all these examples are getting your mind spinning. Like, wow, you can get a lot more nitty gritty on this stuff than just targeting someone interested in auto insurance or interested in, this gets so much deeper sometimes than just targeting a male or a female. It's like you can get really particular with this stuff. So I wanted to give you a lot of these examples so that your minds are open up to the possibility of what you can do with this platform, because it's really powerful. So it gets better. I'm going to talk about two techniques that we do, and we talked a little bit about the narrow audience. So this is how we did the narrow audience. So the narrow audience is when two things have to match up. So it's like they have to be interested in nursing, and they also have to be like a frequent shopper or something. A narrow audience is when two or more things have to match up together. And then the exclusion technique is when the things kind of contradict themselves. Like they are interested in nursing, however, we exclude people that are already nursing. So let's talk about the narrow. The narrow audience would be people interested in the Bachelor of Science of Nursing and must also match in high school. Okay, so do you see what I'm doing here? I'm trying to get someone to fill out my nursing school offer. My nursing school offer pays like $30 to $40. I get $30 or $40 whenever someone fills out the nursing school offer. And I'm trying to get them to fill out this offer. I'm trying to pay like $20 to get someone to fill out this offer for $40, so I can double my money. So how do we do this? Well, I used a little bit of a narrow audience at one point in some of the ads. So I targeted people that were interested in the Bachelor of Science in Nursing. So this is a nursing degree. And I also made it so I used this box. See on the left hand side it says must also match. I made it so they also had to be in high school. Because think about it, if they're in high school and they're interested in that Bachelor of Science in Nursing, that's like the perfect person for nursing school. So I targeted those people, and it went fantastically well. So this is an example of the narrow audience. So the narrow audience is doing like two things together that have to match. Let's talk about that's flex targeting, by the way, is kind of the term for this. Now let's talk about the exclusion technique. The exclusion technique is when you have one targeting but you exclude the other thing. So this is the so this would be, so let's say they're interested in the Bachelor of Science in Nursing. They also are in high school, but do you see this exclude on the bottom left? But we're excluding adjunct professors. It's just an example, but let's get more detailed. We could exclude, let's say, people that have a college degree. Because think about it, if we're trying to get people to go to the nursing school, what good is it for us if they already have a college degree? I get it, sometimes people go to two colleges and like multiple, they might go to normal college and then nursing college, but for the most part, we kind of just wanted people to fill out this offer that had never gone to college. We're trying to get them to go to a nursing school. So what if we did interested in the Bachelor of Science of Nursing, they must also be in high school, but you see that exclude button on the lower left hand side, but we exclude people that have graduated college. So now we're really getting this narrow audience by using the exclusion technique. And I've heard the exclusion technique can be used in a lot of other ways. You just have to kind of think outside of the box. But what this, I'm sure this webinar right here, I'm sure it's getting your mind thinking like, wow, I didn't even think of half that stuff. You know, a lot of this business is thinking outside of the box. It's just having those ideas that maybe other people didn't have, and that's how we did $20,000-$30,000 of profit very quickly on this nursing campaign. It's just we use these skills and everything that we're teaching in the course, and this is what's going to make your campaigns just so much better than the average affiliate marketer, is because you know these strategies. You think outside of the box and you do things a little bit above and beyond the other people. So the detailed targeting, it allows you to target almost anyone. So learn to use it effectively, and it all boils down to testing. If you're getting really bad results with one targeting, test another targeting, and just test, test, test. And also, don't be so fixed on the targeting. Here's what I mean. If you're targeting like this perfect audience, you're targeting the people that are in high school that are interested in the nursing degree. If it's costing you more money to get leads than just targeting people interested in nursing in a more general way, then target what is getting you cheaper leads. So what I mean by this is don't be so attached to your targeting that you're neglecting the fact that, you know what, this targeting just gets cheaper leads. You could have the perfect targeting sometimes, but it might just be more expensive than targeting something else. I mean, who knows? Maybe. And I also want you to test broad. If you're, let's say you're promoting nursing schools, I want you to test some ads where just target only women in the United States, and just see what happens. So it's like that kind of stuff. You want to test every possible angle, every possible targeting, and you'll be surprised. Maybe you'll land something that's very lucrative for you and very cheap in something unexpected. Like let's say you're targeting just like 200 million people that live in the US that are women, and you're just sending your nursing ads to them. Maybe it's cheap, maybe it's not, but you don't know until you test. So you got to start testing, and then kind of keep your secrets to yourself once you find some winners here. So what Tyler and I have done is we realize that, you know, we've had a lot of campaigns. We've had good campaigns in real estate, credit cards, and you know, we're not keeping all the secrets to ourselves because that doesn't benefit you guys. So in this course, we give you case studies on a lot of campaigns that we have succeeded with. We give you a case study. We actually do a detailed case study on this nursing campaign. We do a case study on a credit card. We ran a credit card campaign in 2017 or 2016, kind of way back. I mean, that campaign did like $500,000, and we share that campaign in this course, in the case study. So we really go above and beyond with this stuff. Let's go to the custom audiences. So the custom audience on Facebook is on the top here, and with the custom audience section, you can do a lookalike audience. So a lookalike audience is people that have, they just look like another audience, and Facebook makes an audience of those people. So here's how to do it. It's just kind of right at the top with your targeting, the custom audience. Okay, so how to create a custom audience. We're going to show you how to do this more in demonstration in future modules. So in future modules, we will get out the we'll do the screen share style where we'll go on our computer, we'll show you how to do it. But to make it simple, to create a custom audience, you go into your Facebook and you go to that hamburger menu on the top left. You find audiences. You find the it's kind of where it's very close to where that tab was for pixels that I showed in previous video, but there's a tab that says audiences. Click on that tab, and then you can create an audience based off of a customer file, website traffic. So let's say you have a list of leads, like let's say you have 1,000 leads from car insurance. You could upload the file, and then you can make a custom lookalike audience from that file. And that's something that we do, is make lookalike audiences. So if you have a customer file, let's say you have some leads, and where do you get these leads? Well, you might already have them. You could also get the leads from affiliate networks. So let's say your affiliate manager is kind of pushing you to run an auto insurance offer. You say, hey, do you think you can get me a little customer list or a lead list? Like if you can give me 1,000 subscribers in auto insurance, I can make a lookalike audience with it. So you can, once you have a list of leads, and again, this is not mandatory, this is a different type of targeting. So let me clarify that you can target people based off of their interest, off their age. This style here is more the custom audience. The lookalike audience is a different type of targeting, and you can do one or the other. And if you wanted to, you could even combine both. You upload, to do the lookalike audience, you upload a list of leads. It becomes your custom audience, and you can create a lookalike audience based off of that custom audience. And again, we'll show in future modules how to actually do this. But then you can target these people, and what you're doing is you're targeting a lookalike audience. So you're targeting an audience that looks like the audience you uploaded, and it's actually a very effective strategy. There's even a next level. So like I said, the next level is building these lookalikes from your custom audience. If you're thinking this is all complicated, like I said, in the future modules, we're going to show you how to do it more with the screen share style. So what is the lookalike audience? The lookalike audience is it's when Facebook makes an audience for you that looks very similar to an audience that you already have. So you might say, hey, Facebook, here's a list of 10,000 leads. Then what Facebook does is it finds like a larger audience that's very similar demographically to those 10,000 leads, but Facebook might find an audience of like 1 million people that are similar to the 10,000 leads, and then you can run ads to those 1 million people. So that's how a lookalike audience works. So step one is you tell Facebook who's your seed audience. You have to start with a some kind of list, some kind of first audience. So maybe you uploaded your list of leads that you got somewhere. Either you already had them, maybe you were building. So let's talk about this. Let's say you're running an auto insurance campaign and you're collecting email leads. Well, once you have like 500 of them or something, you could use your own leads to make a lookalike audience. You need some kind of seed audience, though, to make a lookalike audience on Facebook. Again, there's other ways to acquire the seed audience. You could ask your affiliate managers, you could ask the offer owners, but for the most part, we found either you kind of have to have the leads yourself, or you have to ask someone for the leads to make a seed lookalike audience. Is really the only ways for the most part. Facebook then analyzes your audience, and then it creates a lookalike audience based off of that audience. So you might say, well, just tell me what to do. Do I do the interest targeting like you were talking about at first? And the answer is yes. Or do I do the custom? Do I do the lookalike audiences? And the answer is really yes to both. However, if you're new, I want you to stick to just the basic targeting. So if you're targeting auto insurance, I want you to target stuff like auto insurance. I want you to experiment sending those ads to men, women, different age groups. Start basic if you're new. If you're advanced, the custom audiences are for much more experienced players. That doesn't mean that it's automatically better. Tyler and I have succeeded very well on, like the nursing campaign didn't have any custom audiences. It just had the interest, and we did very well on that. But then on other campaigns, we did do the custom audiences. So the answer is, if you're new, focus on that basic targeting. If you're advanced, experiment with both, but don't feel like the custom audience is automatically better just because it's harder or it's more advanced. You can always succeed very well with some basic behavior or interest targeting. So placements, where do you want your ads to be shown? This is all at that ad set level, and you can't help but to see it. When you make a Facebook ad, it asks you for all this stuff: placements, age, gender, etc. Let me show you some tricks with this placement thing. So if you if you go to the placements, by default, everything is selected, and that actually works pretty well, to be honest, just the default. But what you can do is on some ads, you can experiment doing like only Instagram or only Facebook feeds or only right column. And you can see if you, by some means, are getting cheaper ads, perhaps Instagram or something. Tyler and I did a campaign where we just tested a little bit of Instagram only, and it did pretty well. And then we've had others where it's just mobile news feed, so you kind of experiment, but you could just leave it all checked off though for starting, because this is more nitty gritty, kind of granular, more detailed aspects of the campaign, maybe for later stages in the campaign. Facebook's going to ask you, what do you want to bid? So there's bidding options. There's auto bidding and there's manual bidding. The default is auto. That's just the defaulted selected one. And to be honest, Tyler and I, we do mostly auto bidding. Recently, it's been a lot of auto bidding. We've only done manual a few times. For us, the auto has been more successful. It's been cheaper. We found the manual has just been too expensive for us. The auto bidding is when Facebook just bids for you. Now, I guess there are some downsides because it's kind of like outside of your control. One day your leads might cost like $1, and the next day they cost like 80 cents, and the next day they cost like $1.20, and you're like, I have no idea like why the heck it costs $1 today and 80 cents tomorrow. So sometimes the automatic bidding is just kind of out of your control. It's kind of like you get what you get, and it's like when the holiday season comes, like Black Friday, and it's like your ads just might get more expensive, and there's like nothing you can really do about it. For the most part, but it's like the manual bidding, you can tell Facebook how much you want to bid. Some advantages is if you bid really high, you can get premium audiences, but again, it's going to cost you a lot to bid really high. You're going to be able to have a really strong offer to afford that. And I think some cons is just the manual bidding for us has been more expensive. It really has been. I know some people love it and are very kind of keen on it, but for what we've been doing in this lead gen stuff, the auto bidding has been the way to go. So auto versus manual, I would say experiment with both, but Tyler and I have been doing almost 100% auto bidding. All right, don't be overwhelmed. These concepts and stuff, we're going to show you how to launch ads in future modules. This is just really the this is the ideas behind it. This is kind of the brainstorming, the thinking behind it, and everything. But in future modules, we're going to show you how to launch those ads and show you step by step how to do that. So what's next? We're going to show you the ads. So we're going down the list. Remember the first module we talked about that campaign objective. This module we talked all about the targeting, different targeting strategies and things like that. We're going to cover in the next one the ads, like what comprises a good ad. So let's hop over to the next module, and I will see you in a moment. Talk soon.